Hey everyone, welcome to this very, very special episode brought to you by Kenji Martial Arts. I am your host, Kieran, the guy who doesn't seem to be able to shut up enough, but hey ho. Today I have this absolute legend with me today, Sensei Steve Goodhand. Steve, how you doing today, mate?
All good. Yeah, all good. I've got a
Fantastic.
few technical errors, but there we go. I'm away.
You can't have any kind of Zoom meeting without a few technical errors.
Yeah.
Anyway, so why don't you tell us a bit about yourself? Your history, your training.
I started off doing boxing when I was a kid. Then all the sort of Bruce Lee stuff and all the rest of it sort of hit big. So I thought, I want to give this a go. I've moved over, found a kung fu club, dragon style kung fu.
Ooh, interesting.
It had to be kung fu back then. Yeah, with all the Bruce Lee stuff and the Jackie Chan bits and the rest of it. So I joined that. Trained in that, really enjoyed it. Done some competitions, didn't do too bad. We're talking in my, what we're talking, boxing was like when I was a proper kid. So Kung Fu was probably sort of 12, 13, 14. And unfortunately that club closed.
Oh no.
Otherwise I probably would have stayed for it a bit longer because I really did enjoy it. But at the time, like one of my best buddies, a few years later, was really into karate, who later became a sensei. So he said, give this a bash. So I gave that a go. Noticed some of the benefits from it. So yeah. And in between that, I started cross training, shoot wrestling, jiu-jitsu, some other bit Thai, bit of this, bit of that. Yeah. So just sort of really enjoyed sort of all elements basically.
No, that's fantastic. Yeah, one thing that I do find in the online martial arts community is about bringing all different arts together, cross training. My instructors encourage me and other friends to go and do other martial arts as well. A mate of mine, don't know if you're familiar with Chris Hansen at Karate Unity.
Seen him, but yeah.
Yeah, I've met him before, and he preaches it as more than he breathes in air. It's all about cross training. But that's an interesting little point you made up earlier. Sorry, said earlier. Shoot wrestling. Now, I understand in a lot of martial arts circles, wrestling is almost considered to be like the ultimate form of any kind of combat sport. Wrestlers are tough.
Yeah. I think it's essential, and I think the trouble is people should take time to go away and do, say, some judo, some wrestling, some sort of grappling art, as opposed. Obviously, you can work out bits and bobs on your own, but I think, as you know, there's nothing better than actually going off and studying under a competent instructor to really get those refined skills. Because if you do meet someone with sort of more equal skills, if you've been really applying in trade and honing in the finer details, then you'll be at an advantage like anything.
I mean, that is also a unique thing in that every nation on earth basically has its own native form of grappling. I mean, there's different forms of grappling in African countries. India's got their own grappling. And specifically with karate, tegumi style grappling and wrestling is quite popular in Okinawa. So yeah, it all comes together quite nicely. And then when you add on striking, you've got a complete art.
Well, one of the best forms, which originated here, the catch wrestling from Wigan, is actually sort of the foundation for a lot of the mixed martial arts today, because it went from there to Japan to become part of Shuto. And from Japan, it went to the States under people like Eric Paulson, so on and so forth. So it's a shame that it's a really hard style of submission, no holds barred wrestling. But it's there's a couple of clubs, but it was very big. Yeah, obviously people had to earn their crust by then doing pro wrestling, but they'd still be studying the catch wrestling forms. So it's a shame, really, that one of the best styles of grappling, which started off here in Wigan, sort of does exist to a certain extent, but it's mainly bigger now in Japan with people like Sakuraba like I said, in the States, Firak Paulson, Josh Barnett, and people like these. Yeah.
No, that's impressive. So, with all of your different arts that you've been through, what made you decide to settle into karate then?
Basically, I met another friend who's also a karate sensei. So basically, I had two good friends that were both karate senseis.
Ah,
So it's a case of getting me through the ranks in traditional karate Shotokan. Although both of them cross-trained as well, boxing, Thai, judo. So they both, they weren't strict Shotokan karateka. So yeah, it was a case. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed working with them, being friends. At the end of the day, all striking stuff's pretty similar. And with one of them was also when he was a lot younger, he was a regional judo champion as well. So that was
oh
handy.
wow, that's
Yeah.
fantastic. Yeah.
So it seemed like a good route to me. When I moved from the east down to the south, I couldn't really. I tried a few different karate clubs.
Mm.
To be honest, didn't really get on with them too
Ah,
well. Wasn't my sort of cup of tea.
mm,
So my sensei then said he said set up. So that was about 18 years ago. Yeah.
mm. Oh wow, so you've been in it ever since. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was going to move on to your combat karate competition. Fantastic, fantastic, and really good athletes on there as well. I remember on the build up to the competition, I was checking out the competition, the other fighters
Really?
on Instagram and whatnot, and
Yeah.
seeing the training in that you built them up for. Could you tell us a bit more about that? What sort of skills you
Yeah.
emphasise?
It's a bit of a circular evolution in my martial arts studies. When I first, even back in obviously boxing, you're doing pad work and
Mm,
sparring. It's as simple as that. So early on in kung fu, when that sort of dissipated, and I was doing karate, and I was still adding my sort of kung fu techniques to it as well.
mm,
We'd mainly do basic technique, uh, pad work, and sparring.
mm.
Then obviously we'd have the katas and forms and all the sort of bits and bobs, which I enjoy. I still
Yeah.
dedicate a session on Sunday to that. Then came the sort of new wave of the sort of bunkai based stuff, which took it away from some of the really silly old bunkai to some of the
Mm,
newer stuff.
yeah.
Really, to be honest with you, I found myself spending far too much time focusing on trying to work out moves or borrowing other people's moves to a certain form in a kata,
Mm,
which, to be honest, a lot of them look good in the dojo, but really, try putting them in sparring. And even if they say, "Oh yeah, but we're going for reality," so no, it's really hard. A lot of these movements, if you look at them, they work on holding the arm of one person, but then
mm.
that person kindly just stands there when you apply the move, as opposed to going, bah, bah, bah. So I
Yeah.
basically got a little bit frustrated. We still practice some bunkai stuff, but very loosely. I just feel, why I said full circle, you're better off honing in basic techniques,
Mm,
boxing, your kicking, your takedowns, and your subs. Doing them in not in proper drills. So in obviously you build it up, but in sparring, yeah, try not to hurt each other, obviously, to
yeah.
really pressure test it. When some people say pressure test it, and it's just the chap sort of resisting a bit. And for me, it's you would have seen some of these techniques happen
Mm,
in combat sports or CCTV footage and so on and so forth. And really, like I said, although I appreciate that and people can practice it, that's up to them. People really enjoy it, so on and so forth. But I kind of not fully brushed it to one side, but it's now a very small percentage of what we do. I
mm.
just would rather be more physical, also adding the strength and conditioning,
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's
and
very important.
just stuff that's really going to get you sharp. A lot of sparring, a lot of heavy pads, a lot of refining technique, as opposed to trying to work out some of these bunkai forms and this sort of stuff, basically. Yeah, so it's a full circle.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, at my club, we like to do a little bit of both. We do a fair decent amount of sparring, do a lot of pad work as well, but we do like to play with the bunkai as well. Part of a few different groups where we do work out bunkai, but I do agree with what you mentioned about pressure testing as well. When people are just slightly going against it, because that's not a real situation. In fact, if you want to go even deeper in the idea of a real situation, we're training the dojo with a nice padded floor. We're wearing gis and belts. We haven't got shoes on, not jeans, not our t-shirts. We're not on training on concrete, which is outside a pub, or for the younger students, they're not training in a schoolyard or whatever. There's different layers to the training, and
Yeah,
absolutely, yes,
yeah.
we've got to find what works.
I just think when you're some of the sort of bunkai techniques, when it's when you're just holding one arm, basically if you're starting off, Uki does this punch, or Uki holds my wrist, or something like this, we're talking some really the scenario sort of edging on the sort of Aikido side of martial arts, which can look lovely, and it's just it's not ferocious. Someone swinging to knock your head off
Yeah,
type scenario. You're
absolutely.
not really pulling off too much of the stuff. Again, I appreciate it. Some of it's cool, and if it's getting people to put things in their syllabus, like if they're identifying moves as likes and throws and takedowns, if people are then going and practicing those moves, then that is awesome. Yeah, that's cool. But it's just when people, I don't know, you see a lot of sessions now and like half of it's talking, and I want to be
Yeah.
training. Do you
Yeah,
know what I mean?
absolutely. You're there and you're getting cold. Like, can we get on
Yeah.
to hit something, please? Yeah.
So
Uh,
yeah, I want to be sweating, refining techniques, banging.
mm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
this
no,
sort of stuff.
absolutely, absolutely. I mean, I do find like from the like a lapel grab or from the wrist grab, that's what we refer to as like low level. So it's for beginners basically. But when you move up, we start throwing in the heavier strikes and stuff. Okay, what are you going to do from here to get to your agiyuki into someone's neck, and then what are you going to do from there? It is layers of progression.
Yeah, I'm not writing it all off completely.
Yeah,
There's some
no, of
bits and
course.
bobs. There's some bits and bobs. But where I'm coming, why do it under the guise of you trying to do a kata move when you could actually extract the proper technique from, say, a judo throw,
Yeah.
a wrestling takedown,
Mm.
a boxing combination,
Yeah, cool.
Thai boxing clinch, so on and so forth. It just seems that sometimes I feel it's trying to smash in a circular peg into a square hole.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just all the other way around. It's just kind of force it. Oh, now it looks like he hadn't go down movement number 4 or whatever. It's like, just do it.
Mm. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the thing is, not all techniques will work for all people. I mean, one thing I've learned a lot from my judo training is one style of throw or sweep will not work for someone who's my height as opposed to someone who's 6 foot plus. There's too much difference. You've got to find what works for you in the right situation, and drill it, understand it, play with it, have fun with it, and make it your own.
Yeah.
Yeah. So all this training, lots of great, lovely stuff. Now we've got to get into the I suppose controversial topic: point style fighting and the Olympics. What are your thoughts?
Again, some of these guys are top level athletes, and you can't take it
Mm,
away from them at all. Huge fitness levels, loads of coaches.
mm,
Yeah, so on all levels, they're highly conditioned, they're proper athletes, super flexible, amazing timing. Some of these chaps, even if you are from a sort of reality based system, they'd probably whoop your ass in the dojo.
mm. Yeah.
But really, points just doesn't appeal at all.
Mm,
There's even more controversy with the scoring system. B, obviously you don't stop. You're not going to be outside, and well, unless you're on some sort of ninja and you just can happen
Yeah.
with someone. But the thing is, they strike with control, so they're not turning the body, they're not turning the hip with kicks. Like I said, the hook kicks, as you know, is a pet hate of mine, because
Yeah.
it's just a flexibility contest that goes tap, and it's like meant to be an hip-on. Some of the older stuff, if you go back to maybe 70s, 80s, some of
I've
the
seen
points
some of
karate
those.
then was pretty good. You know,
Yeah.
the likes of Frank Brennan and the KGB lot back there, some pretty good stuff. But now it just seems it's more of a game. It's more like Olympic Taekwondo as well, both of them. The other style of Taekwondo is awesome, by the way, so really cool. But they're both, it's both a game, really good for footwork. You can go from being a points, competitor into more of a combat system with, with ease, a lot of them. Just because, like I said, the speed, the footwork, the timing is there. It's just the strikes, the guards, they don't box, just little strikes, little baby strike. Kicks are awesome, usually across the board. But again, don't turn the hip. Yeah, so it's fun to watch. But yeah, when the chap lost his gold because he performed a nice kick just because the guy stepped into a bit, that was a little bit disappointing, really.
Yeah, I remember at the time online it was basically kicked up the biggest arguments ever, because I just kept on seeing on different forums and stuff. Yeah, I remember one guy commented, "Oh, imagine telling your friends that you train karate and they think you do this." Just it was quite, I suppose, a little bit embarrassing that was something to happen, because I mean, the Olympics are the world stage. When you bring a sport there, it's because you're bringing the best of the best, the international defining standard for it, and putting it on the world stage for everyone to see. Everyone's seeing that. It doesn't exactly look the best for everyone else who's not training that sort of thing.
Yeah, it's a game. Like I said, a lot of benefits. I'm not going to completely diss it, because I've seen some of these guys and they're absolutely awesome.
Absolutely.
Like I said, with probably with 6 months training, some of them would be just teaching how to box, teaching some takedowns, and so on and so forth. It'd be awesome. Yeah, I've had a couple of guys that come from that WKF background. At first, they're fast, so on and so forth, but it's always on the pads like that. But it doesn't take long.
Yeah. Okay.
It's a good game. I appreciate it for what it is, but I wouldn't discredit them as highly as a lot of people do, because, like I said, you'll be surprised if you put the gloves on and face one of the higher level ones. You'll be like, "What? Okay." But yeah, it is. I definitely prefer the continuous route. Get a little bit more messy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a closer to a real fight scenario.
Yeah, it's kind of
points.
it's basically more like sort of amateur MMA rules without the subs.
Yeah. Okay, absolutely. Okay, fantastic. So just moving on to another form of sport, karate. Do you ever watch Karate Combat at all?
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah,
really appreciate it. Yeah, and the good thing is they keep making less restrictions. When it first came out, they weren't allowed hooks, and someone said, "Well, that's Mawashizuki or Kagazuki," so they added them.
Yeah.
And now there's more variety in takedowns. Yeah, it's great. Yeah. Again, a lot of these are top traditional points athletes that have then been trained, and it's business. It's really good.
They've made the transition. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Do you think that because Karate Combat, again, as you said, they've reduced some restrictions. Do you think that it would be improved if there was more ground fighting?
Yeah, it's just, I think it's just trying to separate basically turn into MMA. So I just think they're trying to define things. On that front, we practice subs ourselves. But again, if you're looking at a sort of scenario, you don't want to be wrestling on the concrete for too long.
Mm.
If you can sink a quick choke in or blast them, awesome, and try and see what's, because we don't obviously we do when we're doing sub play, we'll go fully line on our back, get the hooks in, but we try, if we're doing chokes, to stand on knees and using the thighs to keep them in place.
Yeah.
And that way you can disengage and get out of there. So it's like yeah, it's cool, but I've seen it myself a few times in the teenage years. A couple of lads on the floor a bit too long, and one gets booted in the head. Yeah, went up the head to one of my friends. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, he was doing all right.
So when you practice them, you the ground fighting, it's from a position of dominance, trying to get to that better position as opposed to.
We try not to spend too long down there. We try and have awareness when we're down there, and also we wouldn't play to what there's certain moves. Obviously, if you can wrench them in quickly, then they can. But stuff like cross body locks, like arm bars and that sort of stuff, can be cool. Obviously, you can snap the arm, but you're in such a vulnerable position some of the time when you're performing these techniques.
Yeah,
but really appreciate all the sub stuff. One-on-one, awesome. Yeah, absolutely awesome. But there's usually a few people involved, so you just gotta have awareness. Yeah.
Okay. No, absolutely awesome. Okay. So another point to talk about, which everyone likes talking about, Cobra Kai. Now, everyone loves Cobra Kai. What sort of how to put it? Which sensei's method of teaching from there is your favourite? Which message are you trying to put across?
I have actually watched it recently. Some people were bugging me, so I actually sat there one evening and sort of blitzed a lot. It's very entertaining. I like the classic 80s film. All the martial arts is pretty crap, but it's just good fun. The film in the 80s is very nostalgic for me, because that's my years as a kid. So all the music and all the whole feeling. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. It's fun. Sensei wise, I like Johnny. I just think he's a dude.
Yeah.
Whether I'd want to take my students jumping between buildings or put them in cement mixers, probably not.
I mean, buildings. There are plenty of buildings, but where do you find a cement mixer? I mean, that's a logistical challenge.
Yeah, but no, really entertaining. Yeah. Looking at the two guys, I think Johnny would definitely kick poor Daniel's butt in reality. Yeah.
Yeah.
But what's his Silver? He looked pretty good in his little one fight scene when he came in. I thought, he looks all right. Maybe and stunt doubles. It's all right. It's all right. It's fun. It's just fun. Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, because absolutely, and that is what is, I suppose, when people think, karate, especially people who just watch things for the sake of watching them, not actual martial artists. That is what they're seeing when they hear karate as well. So we got the modern representations. You've got karate combat. You've got the Olympics and point style, and you've got Cobra Kai. So you're getting almost mixed signals everywhere, because everyone is just slightly different from the other.
I see a lot of the t-shirts walk through the dojo doors in the last couple of years. So that's cool. Just gonna get people into it. Yeah, they're coming in with a Cobra Kai or the Miyagi t-shirt or a bag. So I think it's cool.
Actually, I actually saw a guy at the gym with a Daniel's like a tattoo of the bonsai tree with the tattoo.
Wow, okay.
And he was actually wearing a t-shirt with the tattoo on as well.
Nice.
With the bonsai. I thought, okay, that's dedication. That's dedication. Oh,
it's good fun. It's definitely got a few of my recent ones through the door. So it's awesome. Good on it.
Yeah. So that's getting people through the door as well. So last topic that I want to talk about is, where do you see the future of karate going? what do you see it might be in like 10 years time, 20 years time? What's your vision?
I hope people, again, I'm a bit biased for my sort of style that we do. I just hope people treat it a bit more like you're walking in a Thai gym, in an MMA gym, and something. So they're getting real practical combat skills. I know some people say, well, combat's different from the streets. Is it though? If you're really fast and sharp and you've been doing heavy sparring and you've taken a lot of punches to the dome, so on and so forth, so you're toughened up, it's going to help you. Yeah, and refining those skills as well. Let's get some real ground skills, real technical takedowns and throws, and make it less of the sort of, it had its dip. Some people think it's a bit of a joke, but with things like karate combat, so on and so forth, it's, I think, and there's been some good karate fighters in MMA. Obviously, they've done jiu-jitsu and wrestling, so on and so forth. They got the Machidas and Wonder Boy, and there's and a lot of people started adapting the stance as well. Like even Henry Cejudo, he started adapting more of a longer karate stance, quick on his feet, in and out, not getting hit so much. Yeah, so it's definitely got benefits. Yeah, I've had guys from Thai come and train with me as well, and they've appreciated the footwork, the speed, the timing. Yeah, stance is a bit different. Yeah, so it's got some benefits.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he is all hoping to a really bright karate future. Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely. Any little topics you want to talk about at all?
Well, I think I'm going to double up the competition now, so I'll be running twice a year.
Oh, very nice. Very nice. I was actually sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I'll do a winter one and a spring summer one. So I'll get 2 of those in. Because I was very impressed, like with the level. I think the fitness people will have to work on, because it's quite surprising, because as you know, originally I had 2-minute rounds, didn't I?
Yeah.
And everyone was like, dying after a minute. But I think it's pacing, the adrenaline. It's very different. You can spar in the dojo, as you know, for quite some time. But as you know, you step out in front of a few people on the mats, the adrenaline kicks in, which is good. That's also a brilliant thing about competition. Yeah, I know you're not out having a street rumble, but no one wants to do that anyway. It's just too dangerous, so on and so forth. But I think it's a big step up. So people discredit competition, and people that look at it as well. Well, I could have, we were sloppy there. He dropped his guard here, this, that, and the other. Yeah, give tips and feedback. But if you really think, step up and give it a go. Do you know what I mean? It's very
absolutely.
Easy. We'll do it. We'll do it. But any sports we watch,
Yeah, no, I do find my instructor always tells me that it's a big psychological impact when you step into a square and the other person's trying to hit you and hurt you. You have to get used to it's draining as well, but it's something that I believe martial artists should go through as well.
Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah, I've done it back in. I always used to. I'd get the nerves on the car journey. So the traveling there I'd always be a little bit. Once I was on the mat, it wasn't too bad. But some people, I've got a friend of mine. He does boxing. He just loves it. No nerves. Just depends on who you are. I was always nervous. Yeah. But I think it's great. Yeah. So no, I don't think anyone should discredit competition. Especially if you're sparring in a dojo, give it a go and spar against someone else. Even if you're doing a couple of friendly interclubs, just bring a couple of guys down, have a friendly bit. But I think the fact that it's called a championship, and like you said, you see those mats, and there's people milling, and you can feel a little bit of vibe going on, and there's some medals and so on and so forth. It kind of raises it up a bit. I'd like to do some heavier stuff, but I don't think that many people will be into it. Obviously, safety, more insurance, St John's Ambulance, so on and so forth. For what we were doing, I think it was I don't know how you felt. I think it's about right. You're still getting hit.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, I definitely got hit. I had the bruises to prove that. So
Yeah, yeah.
I thought it was really well run. It was felt like it was on time. I had a little break for a little protein bar in between, so that was all good. But yeah, I thought it was really well run. Really good athletes. Your guy, Louis, I believe his name was, pointed out, he's bloody good, really fast, really sharp. That you said if you've got more tournaments coming up, then that's the standard that I've got to beat. Then so you've set the standards. And when I was I posted a couple of clips from my fights on my YouTube channel.
I scored you the W, but I'm not the judges.
That's fine, mate. That's fine. It's a win in my heart.
But
so
you did.
That's what matters.
The only thing you did was you got a couple of nice round kicks to the dome, didn't he? So
yeah, just a few, but yeah, I did have a few people when I posted the video in a couple of different places. Did have a couple of people say, "Oh, what's the club? Who hosted this? Where is it? I'm interested." And I've sent them the link from the website.
Yeah, swing them down. Let's get more. Let's have some more fun. And the thing is, the more there is, the more divisions I can do. Do you know what I mean? So it's it'll still sort of speed on. Maybe a third mat. Yeah, I got my good friend Charlie, who ran the kata, which was very nice of him, because although again I practice it, appreciate his footwork, his technique. Some of the bunkai in it is awesome. There's some good stuff in there, but it's more his bag. He's very knowledgeable. So big shout out to Charlie.
Shout out Charlie.
Done well on that.
Yeah, no, that was really well done as well. Some really sharp people there as well. Kata's not really my thing, but I did appreciate some of the precision that was there.
I do a session a week on it, but I enjoy it. It's meditative. Footwork's good. You can get good sweat up. It's good. It can be a good workout. But yeah, I prefer the combat. Yeah. So.
Yeah, me too. But okay, yeah, that's fantastic.
No, you done really well. I gave you a W, but it wasn't mine to give.
It's all right. It's all right. It's all part of the experience. You win some, you lose some.
You had some hard opposition. You didn't have an easy route.
No, I never do. Being 5'5", it doesn't always help in my favour. So yeah, no, that's the problem I've had with like point style competitions as well, because they've just got longer limbs. They can tag me before I can get to them.
Yeah, some of the points some of them have no weight categories, the old school ones. Yeah, but like I said, if there's more people, I could bring in another weight category, for instance, and have 3. So
yeah, spread the good word. Absolutely. Yeah. So okay,
awesome.
I think we are just coming up to time. So
oh man, awesome.
It's been an absolute pleasure talking to you again, Steve. Absolute legend, and I cannot wait to be down to train and fight with you guys again. People can find you on Instagram, YouTube.
Yeah, Instagram, YouTube, karatejitsu.co.uk, a nice generic one for you to remember rather than my full domain one. So yeah, just karatejitsu.co.uk. Jump on that, have a look.
Yeah.
Anyone's welcome to pop in, have a session, have a look. Yeah.
All right, I'll be throwing links down for him in the description. Okay, everyone watching, I hope you enjoyed. Please hit up Steve, absolute legend, hosting the competition. Going to be twice a year now. Come down and let's get some. Come on.
This man's a good presenter. I'm not so good. So
thank you.
Keep watching this dude. All the best. See you later, man.
All right. Take care, Steve.